final chance to make their stamp on this 2019 USL League One season. We're in Richmond, Virginia. Richmond Kickers battling Toronto FC2 here in week 28 of the USL League One season. Today's match in coordination with the VCU Massey Cancer Center. It's Breast Cancer Awareness Night here in Richmond, Virginia at City Stadium. In Toronto and Richmond, they have put on the fireworks this year in their previous matchups. And it's a matchup and a series this season that Richmond is yet to loosen, which fosters well for the Kickers here at home this evening. They did not get off to a great start in the first matchup between the two sides earlier this season in Toronto. Serbo on the knockback through, and he poked that home off of Akello's pass over. And Richmond on their back heels early on the road. But Richmond, they would fight back in this match, and mostly it was Toronto mistakes in this battle that would allow Richmond to take the advantage. Here's Klinowski, unfortunately unable to grab the ball out of the air, and it was ruled an own goal as coming through Akwe with the pressure. It's 1-1. Later on, it was help from the PK spot. Watch Tariq Muhammad on the right side of your screen against Gallardo. That is called a PK. Headed for the spot is Gallardo. And again, Toronto, their miscues allowing the opponent here to take the advantage as Hughes on the rebound puts it home. A great stop by Klinowski, but Richmond staying with the play, and Hughes put it home. And that was Toronto's first home loss of the 2019 campaign. It would start a terrible run of form for Toronto that they were able to break through. They've won 2 of the last 3 now in their last few matches. Also, another great finish between the two sides, 2-2, and it started with Daniel Jackson. He had a brace in the first half in this matchup. And today, of course, the second matchup between the two at City Stadium. But miscues by Toronto again, unfortunately, as Daniel Jackson getting by the missed tackle of Romeo and putting that home for his brace in the first half. And watch Daniel Jackson run. He's off the bench here this evening, but certainly we'll be seeing him in the second half. Toronto, though, they would fight back in this battle on the road and would be from the set-piece spot. Something we've seen them score off of, say, last week against Tormenta, and they would do the same in this battle 2 times to be exact. Perusa, second in the Golden Boot race. He would put one in the back of the net. Clinical from the TFC2 player. And then Serbo, he won this battle against Troyer, and he would take this set piece and all it was good for. Spitting this one in and heading it on was Muhammad, not with the team today, but Tariq Muhammad equalizing late, and that would finish 2-2. So you have to think Toronto a bit hungry today to get back at Richmond. Richmond leading the series since 2015, 6-3-2. Toronto and Richmond looking to make their final stamp on the 2019 campaign. Second and final match for both sides is coming up next on ESPN+.
At CBS 6, our office is out here.
New faces.
New players.
New ownership.
New challenges.
New league.
New opponents.
New rivals.
Joyful.
Authentic.
United.
Still your team.
Still RV on.
Still the Richmond Kickers.
There's a lot of people that are vulnerable that can't fight for themselves, and that's where I can have the most impact as an investigative reporter. I see the result of people being taken advantage of. It makes me feel sick. I actually like pouring through documents. I get super excited when you find something that can hold somebody accountable. I'm Melissa Hippolyte, and I'm working for you.
New faces.
New players.
New ownership.
New challenges.
New league.
New opponents.
New rivals.
Joyful.
Authentic.
United.
Still your team.
Still RV on.
Still the Richmond Kickers.
Welcome back here into City Stadium, second to final match of the season for both of these squads as we get set for our starting 11th presented by Finer Palette. And for Richmond, quite a few changes out there, as you can see. Akwe, Shinoski, and Gallardo back from their one-game suspensions, but no Josh Hughes or Matt Bolduck in the 18 tonight. But keep an eye in between the pipes. Joe Rice is there, his second start of the season, and his first this season was that 2-1 victory for Richmond up in Toronto in the first matchup between these two back earlier in July. On the other side for Toronto, Sam Keeper actually as that matchup in Toronto earlier this season as Klonovsky is in between the pipes. Priso, one of the young talents for the TFC Academy, getting his third straight start of the season. Carlini also in there as a young talent. But Jacob Schaffelberg back from his 10 appearances for Toronto FC in Major League Soccer, adding to the group as he has in the past few weeks, seeing some time here in USL League One. Great atmosphere as always here in City Stadium. Breast Cancer Awareness Night here in Richmond, Virginia. And goes along with Oktoberfest and Fan Appreciation Night coming up on Saturday for Richmond against Orlando City B. We'll have more highlights of what's going to go on along with that match coming up at halftime. For now, it's Perusa over the ball at midfield. Certainly number 77, someone to watch on the pitch in front of us today. He has made himself known as second place right now in the Golden Boot race. Be a tall order right now to catch up with Renato Demos for that race as we head toward the end of the season. Whistle blown, and we're off and running here from Richmond, Virginia. Toronto FC 2 and the Kickers going at it to start our final week of USL League One action in the inaugural campaign. I'm Chris Makoviak here, bringing you the action from City Stadium as Joe Rice will get his first touch of the ball and up ahead with the Richmond Kickers. Toronto FC 2, winners of 2 of their last 3, but really they broke their stride that really did end their season down the second half of the campaign. They were winless in 8 straight, but then getting a 3-2 home victory over Orlando City B. That broke things 3 matches ago, and they've looked good the last couple as they finish out this campaign. Richmond on the other side, they won 5 of 7, but since then, a rough stretch, 3 losses in their last 4. That other one was a draw. So back at home, the final 2 looking to showcase their talents for the fans. And the Red Army, of course, up in song here in this midweek battle. Both teams trying to make a good mark on the end of the campaign. Richmond, 2 home matches this week. Toronto, 2 on the road, including tonight. They'll head to Chattanooga for a huge playoff battle against the Red Wolves, and that being really a playoff battle for Chattanooga. They need a win in that and some help from Lansing getting a result against Madison if the Red Wolves want to keep their playoff hopes alive down the line. Boateng will take a wishful chance, and he really made his mark known against the Red Wolves last week. He had the lone goal against Chattanooga on the road. They were down 2-0, down a man. Mawape found him on the run, top left of the box, and he slotted one home. You have to look for that one. A powerful strike that David Buell even told us was curling a bit. That's really what he can do for this side. He's a young talent. First time he's really playing outside of Africa, and really there's been a language barrier, a barrier culturally that he's had to get used to, and David Buell was very honest with us about that. But the amount of work he's put in, a hard worker to be with the squad and get to this point in his career here in the United States has been something special for David Buell and his squad to watch. You have to keep in mind as well, he has scored plenty of goals for Richmond, including in the Open Cup first round. He had 4. That was his first in League One play, so maybe looking for some more here tonight. Mawape, right side of the box, through ball on, but Eli Lockaby, the right back, couldn't get to that. It's a goal kick coming for Toronto FC 2. Eric Klonovsky will take it as he's in between the pipes once again for TFC 2. Has been for quite a good part of the second half of the campaign. This is start number 8 for the Lincoln Park, New Jersey native. Back the other way comes Schaffelberg and Toronto FC 2. Nelson on the run. He'll get after this one into the final third. Campbell's dealt with a few injuries this year. He's seen more starting time the last few. Was one of the key talents at the beginning of the year for TFC 2, but unfortunately, just like Tormenta, TFC 2 has dealt with some injuries down the stretch. He was one of them. They're looking good in the last few. Perusa moving it to the far side, and here's Toronto. Again, their head coach, Michael Rabaska. frustrated by a bit of the mistakes this year, but a learning experience overall for the squad, and they've looked fantastic at times. They've taken North Texas to the ropes multiple times this season. The problem has been the defense, second most goals allowed here in League One at 44. Their offense has been just short of spectacular at times. They're at 40 goals on the campaign, third overall. They'll get a corner kick here as Antonio Carlini wins the ball. The North York, Ontario native at 18 years old. Second straight start for him after he was part of that 1-0 win over Tormenta on Friday. Here's Priso, who'll head over and take it, as I mentioned, his third straight start. So two youngsters in the attacking midfield, joining the quote-unquote veteran group overall this year. They are one of the younger sides here in USL League One. Nelson and Priso over the ball. Nelson, part of the team of the week after an assist against Chattanooga. Headed down, knocked away. Sorry, I should say an assist against Tormenta. Player goes down, no foul called as it's waved off by Natalie Simon. She's our head official here today. Ramos Mingo as well, team of the week honors as he scored that goal against Tormenta. Nelson, as I mentioned, had the assist. Nelson and Priso heading over to the corner to take this next opportunity. We'll take a look at the replay while they do so. Priso whipped it in, and Ramos Mingo on the backside, unable to do anything with it. There was contact from Rodriguez, but nothing in terms of Simon blowing the whistle. 5th minute, Campbell back in, still alive. Perusa takes a whack but misses it, and Lockerbie will send it down the field, the VCU grad, and Chin, a good tackle from the veteran forward. Boateng goes down, draws the foul, and it'll be a free kick from midfield. One thing I was interested to see is where Joe Gallardo set up with the formation, the players they have out there. Right now he's on the left wing, Moape a bit more centrally. Gallardo, of course, serving a yellow card accumulation suspension last week, so unfortunately against Chattanooga, Richmond was without one of their top playmakers. Joe Rice will swing it up to Akwe. There's Brayton Troyer going out of the match with a red card early on, bringing down Pineda as he approached the box. That's what got Chattanooga the early goal, while Leffe slotted a PK home. And head coach David Buelow telling us it was really tough in that moment just because they were out of center backs, because Akwe and Shinoski both had red cards against Tucson. So they were suspended against Chattanooga. So he was really down to the bare bones of his back line, and Richmond moved to a 3-back line. Chin had to go from being a forward to a left winger, so that lost some of the offensive prowess up at the top, and then in the end Buelow made 2 subs at the half, but really tough situation for the head man to manage, having that red card early on in the match. But he was honest, saying that he thought his side was the better of the two on the field despite being down to 10 men. And they looked good at times, but stretched too thin by Chattanooga, and of course a PK from the spot helped along the Red Wolves to a win that kept their playoff hopes alive, and they'll look to keep them going, hopefully clinching a spot against Toronto come Saturday. Akwe moves it out to the right side. Here's Shinoski. Moape. Pressure there from Toronto. He nearly loses it, and it's back all the way to Akwe. Native of Ghana, 2 assists this season and is now 24 starts. This intercepted by Campbell. Okello and Perusa on the field in front of us tonight. Named to the 20 under 20 list in USL. 2 of 4 USL League One players, the other 2 from North Texas, and Ricardo Pepe and also Ronaldo Demas. We'll get more into that at the half. Jesus West, the Panamanian, threw ball ahead, but Joe Rice playing sweeper keeper, knocking that down the field all the way to Klinowski. Again, as I mentioned, Joe Rice just making his 2nd start overall on the campaign. He's played 3 matches now. Akira Fitzgerald had a red card in 1 match. Here, Toronto seeing red, but Boateng unable to get through, and it's back to Klinowski. He had to come on in this very stadium after a 3 red card match for Richmond, one involving Fitzgerald, so he played a few minutes in the end of that one, and then the next one was against Toronto as Fitzgerald served that suspension. He had 5 saves so far this season between those 2 matches. Born and bred, at least in his recent years, in Virginia, Fairfax native. Played at VCU in college and had 13 appearances for Lionsbridge FC in League Two. Kraft on back. Riley Kraft, the new addition, seeing plenty of time this year. 6 appearances. He'll add to the attacking midfield in this one. Mawape down the right flank into the box. Mawape cuts back over, looking, fires! And into the back of the net. Right by Klenowski. Somehow, someway, he squeezed that home. The Red Army celebrating 1-0 to the Kickers early on. Took me a minute to make sure that went home, but somehow he squeezed it in on that tight angle. Watch him work again. Mawape, the cutback, and fired it home just by Klenowski. What a move, 1v1. Then Mawape finds his 2nd of the season. Gives the Red Army something to celebrate here on this Wednesday night action in USL League One. 1-0 to Richmond early on. Keep in mind, though, the last time these 2 teams met at City Stadium, it was a Toronto comeback that ended in a draw. So familiar territory for both sides in the series this season, but nonetheless, Richmond, a big goal on the board against TFC 2. Richmond this season, a perfect record at 6-0-2 when they do score first. Akwe will keep the attack going down the left flank. No one there to retrieve it. Misread the play, perhaps. David Bulow telling us this week in our conversation he wanted to give the Red Army something to cheer about this week, something to be proud of. They're obviously not happy with their finish, not able to make the playoffs, but he loves always seeing the mark in attendance rankings here in League One and across the USL. They're 2nd in League One, just behind Forward Madison. Always a great turnout here at City Stadium. Not a better way to entertain the fans than have 2 home matches to finish off the campaign, As that's out, back to TFC 2 here in minute 12. Select is the official ball supplier of USL League One and many of the finest leagues in the world. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit SelectSportAmerica.com. That Select ball back with Dante Campbell. He'll sling it on in to Perusa. We'll work it around the back. West, oh, great footwork on the left flank. Up to Schaffelberg. He'll get to this one at the end line. Cycles it in. Perusa, the header down and just wide. Oh, Perusa looking for number 13 on the season, but he couldn't find it. What a great look from Schaffelberg. Beautifully weighted through ball by West, and Perusa just couldn't match that with the header. But Toronto looking to find the equalizer early on here on the road. Chin losing the ball, back with Campbell and TFC 2. Here's Akello, through ball up. Perusa on the run. Perusa can't, no, he does finish it. It looked like a save by Joe Rice, but no, Perusa gets enough power on it. And we're all equal here in minute 13. The goals flying in to start here at City Stadium. 1-1 Toronto and Richmond, the giveaway by Chin. And it's all Akello and Perusa, the 20 under 20 stars here in League One. putting one together and putting it home past Joe Rice. He thought he got enough under it, but you can see there the ball just squeezing under that diving hand. And Perusa gets number 13 on the season. For Okello, that'll be his second assist on the campaign. And 1-1 here at City Stadium. All the energy here in Richmond goes to the wayside, quiet here. The drums starting to get back into it, but a shock for the Red Army after an early goal coming from Moape. Chin, Gallardo, back to Chin. Again, Chin giving up the ball, but he'll win the foul on that one against Priso. And again, our head official, Natalie Simon, here tonight. Now, Toronto FC2 1-8-5 when they do concede first. Of course, included in their 5 draws, comeback draws, I should say, and 1 comeback victory. Already came back to equalize in this one in minute 15. Richmond back on the attack. All the way back to Akwe. This press is flying forward for head coach Michael Rabaska. Rice, Akwe, tough spot as Nelson came forward. Priso takes it in. All the way back to Klenovsky, former DC United draft pick. Spent his college days at Monmouth University. Here's Shanoski. Shanoski, another former DC United player, was a homegrown signing for the DC squad back in 2010. Perusa, great touch on the turn. Akwe back to Rice, and they'll sky this. Another interesting tidbit about this match, 2 former USL championship teams battling out. They're 6-3-2. That's the lead for Richmond in the overall series since 2015. The 2 sides very familiar with each other. Thompson whips it in, but over the head of Boateng. This will trickle away towards West. Out for a Toronto throw-in, right in front of the Red Army. West will take it, making start number 10 on the season. On loan. Restart play just inside the corner flag. That was a foul in favor of Toronto. And Klenovsky will get us going.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's a vehicle in the parking lot.
3 members of TFC2 making the Week 27 Team of the Week here in USL League 1. Ramos Mingo, Nelson, and of course Schaffelberg. They played last Friday against Tormenta. 1-0 win on the Ramos Mingo goal, assisted by Nelson. Off the ball down the left flank. Here's Chin. Chin whips it in, but headed away. A good run by Gallardo. That went unanswered, though. Nelson, great touch getting around Thompson. No one there to help him out, though. He will cut it back to Carlini. Okello. Flicks it on, but just by Schaffelberg and out of play. And down goes Thompson. He looked a little awkward getting up to his feet after he lunged after that ball that Nelson sent around him. And was a little ginger on the step as he worked his way back towards his own final third. Lockerbie and his teammates will have a check on him. So unfortunately, the New Jersey native goes down. His Virginia roots started in his college days with the University of Virginia, winning the College Cup. And 66 appearances as a Cavalier. He'll be checked on here by the staff, so we'll see if there has to be an early sub. In terms of defenders, a few options out there for David Bulow and his squad. Ivan Magales is on the sideline. He's been a regular in the starting 11. Here's Nelson with this run. You can see the lunge there, maybe getting caught up in the grass a bit. It was a great move by Nelson, but Thompson may be feeling an injury because of it. As Lockerbie will take this throw in on the far side. It's one thing that David Bulow is very proud of this season. Only a couple tissue injuries on his squad. Overall, they've been pretty healthy. As you can see, Thompson walking off, and indeed we are hearing an early substitution. Hate to hear it. For Thompson, it will be Magales, so we'll see how the back line sets up because of that.
Scott Thompson entering the game, number 4, Ivan Magales.
Magales making appearance number 20 on the season as Richmond's trapped in the corner. Brazilian drafted by the Dynamo, playing briefly at the University of Maryland. Priso the tackle. Richmond maybe some opportunity for a break here. They have numbers going forward, but Lockerbie taking a little bit of time here to make a decision. He'll run forward down the field. Here's Dennis Chin. Chin cuts over, strikes it, but deflected maybe by Lockerbie. We'll see what's the call. And it is going to be a corner kick for Richmond. That is their first of the night. Great run by Lockerbie holding up Akello. He cut himself towards the central midfield, found Chin. Here's Gallardo on the near side. Helped in a corner kick goal against Greenville a few weeks ago that helped capture the Bon Secours Cup. 1-0, and he found Troyer in the box. Troyer unavailable due to that red card suspension. Gallardo looking for assist number 3 on the year. Second minute, 1-1 between Richmond and Toronto. Here in USL League One, first match of this Week 28 slate, final week of action here in the 2019 campaign. Looks like we're set to go here at City Stadium, and Gallardo will take the corner kick. Whips it in, punched away by Klenowski. Mwape trying to keep it alive. A great turn there. Sent in, Akello, a whiff. But Schaffelberg helping out his teammate. Rodriguez. Gallardo. Gallardo, great move, cuts it over, but Klenowski's there. Settles into his arms. Another look here. As Richmond trying to get back this lead. Watch this touch by Gallardo, the San Diego native, putting the cross in, but unable to find Dennis Chin. Rodriguez over to Akwe. Pressure really coming from Toronto tonight. Gallardo. Couldn't make it happen, and the Clemson grad, Bunk Anderson, sweeps it downfield. Megales, a reminder, just coming on for Thompson. There's Nelson. Carlini stuck on the near side. Had 7 goals and 18 appearances for the U18-19 team in the TFC Academy last year. Carlini. Bad flick there. Knocked on by Rodriguez, but coming to the rescue is Ramos Mingo, the Argentine. And back all the way to Klinowski. Fans, you can continue to enjoy the USL on ESPN through the 2022 season. The USL is excited to announce that the Championship and League One will remain with the leader in sports for 3 more years. ESPN Plus will continue to be the home of all things USL, and at least 19 games a year will be featured on the ESPN family of networks, including 9 games on ESPN Deportes. Continue to follow, support, and watch your club on ESPN and ESPN Plus. Quick restart there by Toronto. Richmond trying to keep the attack going. Of course, we'll have 5 more matchups here in League One coming Friday and Saturday here on ESPN Plus. Tucson, North Texas Friday. Nelson the strike, but sailing it out of play. 4 more on Saturday, including these 2 teams. Nelson lofting that one out of play as Perusa wanted to run forward, but stuck in a sticky situation. You could see that he wanted a through ball on a bit of a give and go from Nelson, but chose not to take that avenue. Here's Megales getting up from his left back spot. Chin, still Chin. They're working on back though to Rodriguez. Tackle. Mawape. Already has 1 goal tonight. You can see his crafty footwork, that's why. Akwe, the Ghanaian, moves the ball off. Rodriguez, a San Antonio native, works it ahead. Gallardo, a tug from behind. That's a foul all day. And Schaffelberg and him getting into it a bit. Natalie Simon doing a good job breaking it up. And it looks like, at least for now, a common foul. That's Gallardo. You'll see here grabbing Schaffelberg with his right arm. A little bit of a shove at the end, but foul was called already. Quite a bit of Orlando City influence in the starting 11 for Richmond. Riley Kraft and Gallardo, both former OCB players a few years ago in 2017. And of course, I guess you could call Dennis Chin an Orlando City legend when they were in the USL Championship now. Where he won the Golden Boot 1 year. Was of course a champion there. And that 3-way connection has allowed opportunities to bloom for Kraft. And of course, Gallardo. Kraft here, though, getting the opportunity on a set piece as a card will be issued to Noble Okello. Number 5 on the season for the Toronto native. And a key opportunity here to loft the ball into the box for the home side. Another look here, and watch Kraft. He knew what was coming and let the ball run through his legs. That was a great move there from the 21-year-old. Kraft coming up through the Sacramento Republic system. As we see our first booking of the night, Akwe back over to Rice. Maybe should have had the save on that Toronto goal from Perusa. Just could not get all of it, enough on the shot to get by the Virginia native. Magales, Shin. Mawape, quick turn, no fire, but a dribbler out of play. It's a goal kick coming for Toronto. Mawape looking for his brace this evening. Couldn't find it here. Just couldn't get that ball to rise with the curl he really wanted. Mawape, the Zambia native, spent 2 years at Lindsey Wilson College in the NAIA. Only put up 25 goals and 19 assists in that, as Klinovsky almost giving away the ball at the back. But he'll reset for this goal kick. With that goal today, Mawape tops his goal total from last season. Only had one at Charlotte Independence in league play. As Toronto quickly the other way here in minute 30. Happy to have you with us for this Wednesday matchup to start off the final week of action here in USL League One. Both these teams will play again on Saturday. Richmond hosting Orlando, and Toronto will go on the road against Chattanooga, Red Wolf side that will be looking to get the win to get into the playoffs. Sliding the ball ahead, Carlini, but a better tackle coming from Akwe. The former New York Red Bull 2 player gets in there. Nelson can't get back to the ball. It's a throw-in on the near side for the Kickers. Taking a look at this brilliant piece of defending by Akwe. Having a great season and gets just enough of that past Carlini. Magales will take the throw-in, the Brazilian going the short route. That pressure continues from Toronto as that goes out of play. Dante Campbell will take the throw in. A long one, Akello into the box. Cuts it back over. But there's Mawape. No white kits in the area. He had the assist in the tally by Serbo in the first matchup between these two this season. Jesus West. Through ball. Finds Schaffelberg. And line cuts it over, but only Shinosky is there. Lockerbie, the VCU grad, passing it ahead to the former San Antonio FC player, Maxi Rodriguez, holding midfielder all year for the Richmond Kickers. Gallardo wins the ball on the foul. That's a real contrast between these two sides. Toronto FC2, second most fouls conceded by any team in League One. Richmond, they have the fewest by far. Very disciplined than their 7 red cards would tell you this season. Richmond has had one of the stronger defenses here in League One. The problem has been the offense. They're tied for last with Orlando for 23 goals on the year. That has come through created chances. They're last in shots per game at 7.4, ninth in shots on goal per game at 3.3. Have a good start so far this evening. Good energy in moving the ball, but overall just 1 shot on target. They have 4 total, as this Toronto press has really settled in since scoring. Nelson on the near side will take the throw-in. And a substitution, so 2 overall in this first half, and it will be Akinola that comes on for Schaffelberg. here in minute 34. Akinola, another player that has spent time with Toronto FC in MLS this season, 1 goal, 1 assist in 8 appearances. The Detroit native at 19 years old has 6 appearances entering today. 1 goal that came against Greenville up in Toronto earlier this season. Mawape strikes it, but right into the arms of Klenofsky. He likes that spot, right top of the box, but can't get it by the New Jersey native. Another look. Likes it on his left boot, but not getting it past the big 6'6" frame of Klenofsky. Ramos Mingo. Here's West stepping up. West has had a good touch on his through balls today. That not so on this occasion. As Richmond back the other way. Good run by Boateng. He's into the box. Can he get there? Cuts it back over. Gallardo can't get there. Priso also trying to save it, but in the end, pouncing on it is Klenofsky, as Chin nearly got a tally of his own. Watch the opportunities here. Mawape on a platter to Boateng. Had to get there in time. He did. And if it wasn't for Priso, it would have been a Gallardo shot on point-blank range at the Toronto keeper. Foul call. We're headed the other way, back to Richmond. Looking for the latest USL League One news and content? Follow at USL League One on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram for exclusive access and updates. Of course, Save of the Week, Goal of the Week voting currently going on at USLLeague1.com. Klenofsky up for Save of the Week. Chin takes it in the final third, moves it centrally. Magala's a slip. He would have had a good opportunity to create something. Instead, it will be Kraft. Ball somehow still in play, and Campbell will finally move it into touch. Minute 36 here from City Stadium. 1-1 early tallies. Perusa, and starting us off was Mawape. Since then, pretty quiet between the two sides. Akinola still looking to get his first run down the field. Ball lofted in, no one there really threatening for Richmond. They will get it back at midfield with Shanoski. 4 shots so far for Toronto, 2 on target, 5 in total for Richmond, 2 on target. Left side now, Magalas will take it in. He'll loft it again, deflected. Mawape, quick turn, slices it back. Lockerbie lofting it, but West is there with the header. Out of play, throw in just inside the quarter flag. Akwe centrally, he'll take it in, the center back way upfield. He'll make a run towards the box. Akwe still into the box. Akwe crosses. Oh, what a finish that would have been. But Boateng just putting it off the mark. Great build-up from the center back Akwe, and Boateng almost finding his second in 2 matches. Crafty work from the center back of Richmond. And Boateng just slicing that a bit too much on the volley. 8 minutes plus stoppage time left in our opening half. Stay with us for halftime. Beyond highlights and stats from our first half, we'll also, of course, have preview at some of our matches coming up on Saturday with playoff implications. Also, a look at the Oktoberfest coming up on Saturday. Orlando City B coming to City Stadium to take on the Kickers. Good stop in the box by Rice to keep it from Akinola, meanwhile. Lockerbie will take it in. Richmond really clamping down on possession in the later stages of this first half. Last about 20 minutes. Lockerbie Almost losing it. Tap from behind, an easy foul call for Natalie Simon on that one. Quick restart for the Kickers as Akwe will move the ball up the field. Here's Chin. Gallardo. Chin again with the hold-up play. He'll go down and wins yet another foul, and that's been key tonight to get position on the field for Richmond. They'll test the right flank. Gallardo. Bunk Anderson trying to clear it. A dribbler up to West will be enough. A spin move by the Panamanian. And a foul is called on Gallardo, going in a bit late, just a bit, on Okello. Dante Campbell with the chip forward, but Shanoski handles it well. Short through ball, Gallardo couldn't get there in time. Bunk Anderson was surprised, it looked like, that Gallardo held up his run. Perusa back on through, but beyond the reach of Nelson. Throw in for the Kickers as we approach the 41st. Richmond at home this season, 4-5-3. Toronto on the other side on the road has been a sticky situation overall, 2-7-3. One of those road victories, though, earlier in the season against Lansing. Shanoski lofting the ball down the right flank. Here's Bunk Anderson, he'll handle it. Lockerbie still with pressure as Bunk Anderson will slide it out of play. Throw in the final third for Richmond as we approach halftime. Sharp tackle there from Okello. Toronto trapped a little bit, looking to find some space. They will with Campbell. Here's Akinola. Nelson. Right off the body of Kraft. Got the wind knocked out of him, it looked like. He'll take a breath here. Knocked on away by Boateng. He thought about making the run all the way back, but it falls to Klinowski. Akinola, beautiful through ball, but it falls to Rice. As Carlini may be seeing yellow here after that. And will just be a talking to, luckily there for the 18-year-old. Luckily, on the other side for Richmond, went right through the top of the box as Shanoski led it on. And Rice, he misread that a bit, but was able to scoop it up. And now Magales is down. So the sub on for Thompson, who had to come off due to injury, is now down in minute 43. And David Bulow got his center backs back from their suspensions last week, but he may be losing a couple defenders due to injury in the first half. We'll see if Magales here can keep playing, as he's feeling some discomfort. And outside of that, someone a midfielder perhaps, will be moving to this back line, as he is clearly in some pain, but hopefully can continue. Ivan Magales making start number 17 on the season. Spent last year with the Tampa Bay Rowdies alongside Akira Fitzgerald. And we're back underway. Lockaby. Mawape. Kraft. There's Chen. Richmond building forward, currently down a man on the field. Mawape into the box. Knocked away. Akello, another good stop. He'll sling it out for a Toronto throw-in. Final minute of action here, plus stoppage time, and looks like both sides trying to battle to the break. Play has really slowed down since that Toronto goal. Both teams coming out firing in the first 15 or so minutes. Gallardo, he'll keep it, but yes, he does keep it in play. West, good bodying here, and he'll be brought down from behind. As Gallardo kicks the ball away, almost time wasting, but luckily for him, Klinowski caught it. He'll get a talking to as well. Klinowski will drive this into the Richmond night as we enter stoppage time. 3 minutes here at City Stadium, presented by Kreger's. Headed on and out of play. And it stays with Toronto. Terms of yellow card accumulation suspension. Yannick Eckenrode, the only man for Richmond, potentially under the microscope here today. He's on the bench. Ovalle also for Toronto. He's on the bench for tonight. But Campbell on the field, 1 yellow card. He will be suspended for Saturday's match against Chattanooga. Ball whipped in, a one hop right into the arms of Rice. Rice starting tonight. Fitzgerald is on the bench. Janoski stuck here. Magales, as you can see, is back on the field. Not a good sign for David Bulow. He's already had to use 1 sub due to injury. In fact, bringing on Magales as Boateng goes down, stuck here alongside Bunk Anderson. And now Natalie Simon for the second time has to cool things down between the two teams. Little tension building here as we approach halftime, and a yellow card will be shown to Boateng, and that probably for that swing at the end of the play. And also a yellow to Bunk Anderson. He is beside himself after receiving that. Third of the season for Bunk Anderson. For Boateng, that is his 4th. Taking a look here to see exactly what happened. And it seems like it was all after the common foul as Bunk Anderson came up, but maybe stood a bit too much over Boateng to his liking, and a little swing at the end. So yellow cards, 1 apiece for the 2 players. And it ends in a set piece for Richmond just before the halftime whistle. A wasted one at that. As it will be a goal kick for Toronto. Even on the scoreboard, even on the field, it looks like at the break. This will probably be the final kick of the half. 2 goals early on, 1 apiece. Boateng. Moape. Maybe a late break here for Richmond. Here they come. But a better stop by West. He has been excellent at that left back spot. That is the halftime whistle. 1-1 at the break, Richmond and Toronto. First it was that man Moape, and then it was Perusa through the outstretched right hand of Rice. All even at the break between the Kickers and TFC2, right where we were last time these two teams played at City Stadium, where it finished 2-2. And Schaffelberg there, you saw, had to leave in the first half, along with Thompson. So both teams dealing with potentially some injuries. Magals was down, he's back up, and we'll see what comes of the second half. Of course, highlight stats coming up next, along with more League One coverage here from Richmond. 1-1 at the break.
True investigations can take months, even years, to get answers, and that can be difficult. I look at the people who are putting their trust in me. I take that seriously. I've been a journalist for almost 25 years, and I still keep in touch with some of these families from one of my first stories that I've ever done. I'm investigative reporter Laura French, and I'm working for you.
New faces.
New players.
New ownership.
New challenges.
New league.
New opponents.
New rivals.
Joyful.
Authentic.
United.
Still your team.
Still RV on.
Still the Richmond Kickers.
Problem Solvers Investigations with Laura French. Problem Solvers Investigations with Melissa Hippolyte. Tuesday at 11 on CBS 6 News.
New faces.
New players.
New ownership.
New challenges.
New league.
New opponents.
New rivals.
Joyful.
Authentic.
United.
Still your team.
Still RV on.
Still the Richmond Kickers.
Welcome back here to City Stadium at the half between the Richmond Kickers and Toronto FC2. And Richmond, their season, of course, not over here today. They'll have one more match here at City Stadium, that coming on Saturday night to be specific. Not only is it Fan Appreciation Night, but also Oktoberfest here in Richmond, Virginia, a fantastic event going on where you can celebrate the German tradition along with celebrating the great feats of the individuals on the pitch in front of you all season. And certainly the Red Army has packed City Stadium all year, and really all sides involved due for a great celebration here. And Richmond looking for the 3 points against Orlando City B as well. And this supported by Allstate. Of course, drink responsibly and enjoy the event. And of course, join us here at City Stadium coming up on Saturday. The regular season continues here for one more weekend. We get to see one more week of some of our top young stars here across the USL. And 4 players were named to the USL 20 under 20 this week from USL League One. 2 faces involved, forwards for North Texas SC. The regular season champs, of course, early in the season, Ricardo Pepi. And to be specific, March 30th, he put the entire league on notice, bagging a hat trick against Chattanooga. Everyone knew who Ricardo Pepi was after that day. We move up north of the border. 2 other players from Toronto also making the list. One being Perusa, who's in front of us tonight, of course. He put in this singer we just saw earlier in our pregame in tonight's coverage past Richmond. And he can do a little bit of it all. He can hit it from the PK spot, hit it on a set piece, and of course, get through the back lines. He's great at splitting defenders and certainly a talent to watch as we move into the future of his career. Also with North Texas SC, the Golden Boot leader as we enter the final few matches of this season, Ronaldo Demas, who has had a few hat tricks this year, including one recently in the last few weeks. And he's been such a consistent force since the beginning of the season. And with Ricardo Pepi as well for North Texas seeing more time with FC Dallas, he really stepped up, kept the offense going, along with Arturo Rodriguez on this North Texas side. Here's all four. Also in the bunch is Noble Okello, who may not see a ton of goals or assists on any team in his career, but he's one of those ball-hawking, holding midfielders that can really cause the attack to go the other way, help out the counterattack, and players like Jordan Perusa in front of him. Four players we'll certainly be seeing a lot from down the line throughout their careers as we move into the rest of League One and maybe even some other action for them across the USL Championship or maybe coming up in Major League Soccer. Ronaldo Demas and North Texas SC, they know they have home field advantage in the playoffs before a lot of faces throughout USL League One. They're still figuring out which seed they are, what matchup they'll have, and of course if they're even in the playoffs. One being Lansing and Madison, the budding rivalry here in USL League One. They put on some fantastic shows between the two sides, mostly including this 3-goal stoppage time affair between the two earlier this season at Cooley Law School Stadium. Lansing in the end getting the win on the Alex Bruce goal. But keep in mind for this matchup coming on Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern time, Lansing, they know they're in the playoffs, but looking to lock in that home semifinal with a win, and Madison a win, and they would be in the playoffs in the 4th and final spot. Chattanooga, the other team, looking to lock up a playoff spot. They need some help from Lansing, hopefully to knock down the Flamingos in their battle in Lansing, Michigan. But Chattanooga, they need a win. A win would lock things home for them with a hopeful result, of course, in Lansing, Michigan. But Chattanooga, they go up against the Toronto side we see in front of us today. They've put in some fantastic scoring efforts this season, including a 2-2 finish at David Stanfield and another 2-2 finish over in Toronto. That coming just a few weeks ago. Came down to the end, and Zayed ended up tying it up off the bench off this pass from Doyle. And that's where things finished. In the 83rd minute, the last two matches, someone has scored to tie up the game. So something that comes down to the finish should be a fun one to tune in for coming up this weekend on Saturday. Tormenta and Greenville, we started in South Georgia earlier this season on March 29th to begin the League One campaign. That's where we'll finish, of course. Alex Morel put in the first goal in League One history, and that sunk Greenville earlier this season. But Greenville's still looking for a home semifinal. They would have to win this one, get some help from Madison as well as we move towards the League One playoffs. Coming up, we take a look at our next edition of Wednesday Night Soccer in the USL Championship.
Long-range effort. Oh, that's spectacular. From distance, and it's a goal. That's a great save, Van Oekel. That's it for Hartford Athletic.
Hamilton back out wide. Chance to put this in the penalty area. Chance, a goal! Devin Sandoval brings them to their feet in Albuquerque. A minute to play. Dia puts it in. Desperately headed away. Shot comes in. It's 2-2. Oh, can you believe it? From 2-0 down, Phoenix are level.
Making the run, Mo Hernandez, edge of the box. Hernandez, great move, gets free. Hernandez! Gives SAFC the lead.
I told you the big man was feeling it tonight.
Rolling to the middle.
Oh, good shot.
Goes right, gets the shot away, score! Nowhere to go for Lorendi.
Back in the middle looking for Cox, trying to set up a shot, and it finds the corner! We're level at 2, and all of a sudden, game on here in Tucson! Puts this in the middle, looking for Ramos. Bingo! It's off the hands of Hara and in. The opening goal for Toronto FC 2.
Moape lost it. Boateng on the run. Boateng back in the net. Charles Boateng is first in league play.
To send it in. Headed away, couldn't get by the first man.
Bermudez might come away with it, and he does! And there's nobody in goal! Greenville are going to score, and they're going to the playoffs! Greenville and Chris Bermudez!
News and notes from around USL League One. We start with the playoff battle going in between teams, I guess you could say, that are already in the playoffs, but home semifinal still up in the air. North Texas hosting the first one. Second one, though, still between Lansing and Greenville. Lansing and Edge. Win or a draw against Madison on Saturday, they will host it, but Greenville holding on hope that Madison will help them out and get a win over Lansing. Then Greenville would need a win against Tormenta Saturday night, so a lot on the table over in Statesboro, Georgia, and Lansing, Michigan come Saturday. Player of the Week honors going to Vangel Ziguro, an assist along with 6 created chances in the Chattanooga win 2-1 over this very Richmond Kickers side, keeping Chattanooga obviously in the playoff discussion. Here's the scoreboard for the matchups coming last week. It started on Tuesday between Greenville and Tucson. What a matchup that was, deep into stoppage time, getting Greenville a goal to clinch their playoff spot, but of course Greenville upsetted later in the week against Orlando, proving that here in League One, anybody can beat anybody, and makes this last week of the season just so enticing. And you can see Chattanooga and Madison there getting results, looking for that final playoff spot. The schedule coming up this week, we'll have one matchup for you late Friday night, Tucson and North Texas doing battle, and then a slate of great action on Saturday. 4 matchups. We'll finish at Statesboro, Georgia, but we start in Lansing, Michigan. 2 rivalry battles going on Saturday, and of course Chattanooga and Toronto doing battle, and Chattanooga needs a win in that one, and of course a Madison loss or draw against Lansing to keep their hopes alive down the stretch. Coming up next, we'll finish off our halftime with highlights and stats here from City Stadium.
Could slow you down. We go from 3 lanes just down to 2. So if you are heading downtown, make sure that you're using extreme caution. Jim!
Huh?
Hey, Jim!
Me?
Yes! Hey, are you looking for these?
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome. Be careful heading down 64. Traffic is backed up.
I will. Thank you. She just talked to me on the TV.
New faces.
New players.
New ownership.
New challenges.
New league.
New opponents.
New rivals.
Joyful.
Authentic.
United.
Still your team.
Still obvious on.
Still the Richmond Kickers.
Most connected morning team to each other and Central Virginia. And it's a good thing they are. CBS 6 This Morning.
New faces.
New players.
New ownership.
New challenges.
New league.
New opponents.
New rivals.
Joyful.
Authentic.
United.
Still your team.
Still obvious on.
Still the Richmond Kickers.
Back here in City Stadium, ready to look at our first half highlights. 1-1 at the break between the Richmond Kickers and Toronto FC2. It was Richmond that got really off on the right foot, exposing the wings with Mawape down the right flank, and he is so good in a 1v1 battle. Watch him cut back here and find a sharp angle and put it home right by Klenowski. Clinical finish there by Mawape as he put it on past the Toronto keeper. 1-0 with the Red Army in tow, but Toronto would strike back later on and go the other way. And a quick start to the second half. And there'll be a throw-in on the far side for Toronto.
Any spectator entering the field or interrupting play in any manner shall be subject to arrest. The Richmond Kickers and USL, thank you for your cooperation.
Perusa on the right side will drive it down and send it over to Akinola. Toronto obviously trying to get back at Richmond. Have not been able to beat them this season. Richmond winning the first edition and then a draw in the stadium in the second of the series. At the break, Richmond leading in shots 6-4, but both teams 2 shots on target. And combined 14 fouls between the two sides. And Okello whips it in. Nelson back post, but Lockerbie gets the stop. Nelson. Perusa. Deflected. Lockerbie in the area. We'll move it back to Rice. Injury woes for both sides, it looked like in the first half. Not sure why, but Schaffelberg did come off for Akinola. And Thompson was injured and thought the trainer had to be brought off for Magales, who went down on his own accord in the first half.
Richmond halftime substitution.
There were some substitutions at the break. For Richmond. That's what I was thinking based on what I saw. Akinola the other way, through ball down the left flank. Nelson on, Nelson the strike, but hits the side netting. Toronto really stretching the field as we move into the second 45. Moving over to the far side with Akwe. It was Mawape and also Perusa finding number 13. For Mawape, it was number 2. Both found the net in the first half. Mawape, Chin, works it on back to Akwe. Boateng wide. Here comes Eckenrode. Mawape deflected by Ramos Mingo. Nelson down the left flank. Cuts back around, brought down on the challenge by Shanoski. And a free kick, a yellow card to Shanoski. Richmond pleading their case on a great run by Nelson. Shanoski won the ball, but it may have been the angle that gave him the card, point blank on Nelson's forward run. Nonetheless, set pieces spelled the doom of Richmond last time at City Stadium against Toronto. And maybe the same starting here in this second half. Shanoski gets card number 3 in terms of yellow this season. It was Eckenrode on for Magales at the break in that left back spot. Eckenrode usually a midfielder, but moving to that left back spot. Perusa and Nelson over the ball. Perusa scored from a set piece last time these two teams played. It'll be Nelson with the go. But slicing this one high and wide. He'll want that one back. And Richmond unscathed from that chance. Joe Rice, he had a piece of the save for the Perusa goal, but it went just under his gloves. Nelson, full sprint, got a touch. Now to play to Lockerbie. He is coming out in full force in the second 45. Chin down the left flank. Gallardo deflected off of Prizo. It's a corner kick coming for Richmond. But you hate to see this situation for David Bueller, not only bringing off a player in the first half due to a substitution, but having to bring off that same player that was substituted on at the break. Now down to Eckenrode. He's the third left back here tonight at City Stadium for Richmond. Zakanola and your screen at the bottom. He came on in the first half for Toronto. Gallardo goes the short route. Eckenrode whips it in, but right into the open arms of Klenowski. Chin was in the area, didn't get a touch to the ball though. There's Bunk Anderson here in the 51st. After an 8-match winless stride, Toronto has looked good in their last few. 2 wins at home against Orlando City B and Tormenta last week, so winners of 2 of their last 3. Richmond on the other side looked fantastic, trying to be that Cinderella team here in League One. They won 5 of 7, but since then have lost 3 of their last 4, winless in all 4. But of course, 2 matches left, both at home, trying to make a good statement for their fans headed into 2020. Boateng, here's Rodriguez. He'll work it to the right flank. Mowape, our early goal scorer tonight, taking it on. Trying to get around West. That's been a good battle tonight. Rodriguez. Kraft. Right flank with Lockerbie. Mowape called offsides in the final third. Nelson, Perusa, out on the run. Perusa strikes it, Bender, and past Rice. A brace for Perusa, and Toronto has the lead. Number 14 on the season, and he'll greet the Red Army with his 2nd of the day. You want to know why he was named to the USL 20 under 20? Well, there it is. A brace tonight against the Kickers. And watch it build again. Nelson up to him. And this is all Perusa. Too much space left by Akwe. And look at the bend on that shot. Nothing Rice could really do as it bent away from where he was in between the pipes. 2-1 to Toronto. For Perusa, his 2nd of the season against the Kickers. Excuse me, 3rd now with the brace today. Fresh out of the break, Toronto likes the second half, and they find another. Number 42 as a team on the season, and they have the lead on the road. In all 3 matchups this season between these 2 teams, the score of the initial goal in the match has let the opponent come back, and tonight it's Toronto coming back after an early Richmond tally by Mowape. Toronto trying to find their 2nd comeback victory of the season. Gallardo wins a free kick meanwhile. Things were getting a bit chippy in the first half, and Natalie Simon, our head official, now having a word. Headed on by Chin. Back by Ramos Mingo, and it'll be cleared downfield by Campbell. 4 yellow cards in total between the 2 sides in this first 55 minutes. Akwe. Going down, tackle from behind on Boateng. Free kick for the Kickers. And a card will be issued to Franco Ramos Mingo on the tackle. Be his 5th of the season.
Toronto number 36, Franco Ramos Mingo.
5th of the match combined in the first 55. Another look here on the foul, pretty clear. Little grab from behind, that was enough to warrant the yellow from Natalie Simon. It's her 4th match this season, reffing in USL League One. What an opportunity for Richmond to strike back. Here a minute 56. It's Gallardo over the ball. Eckenrode nearby. Keep that in mind. Gallardo. He'll strike at a bender, but can't get it low enough. Out of play, unscathed, go TFC 2. Gallardo wanting all of this one, but just couldn't get it down quick enough. Nelson, some open room, tackle from behind, all ball, says Simon. Here's Lockerbie. High press continuing from Toronto. Kraft, Rodriguez, Mawape. Through ball to Gallardo. Off of Bunk Anderson, out of play. It's a corner kick for Richmond, their third of the match. Gallardo leading the team in created chances, entering today with 34. Here's Mawape, looking for an assist to add to his goal tonight. Whips it in, over Konofsky, and just wide. How was that missed? Knocked on just beyond the post by Akwe. Remember that chance. That would have been a point-blank goal with Konofsky down off the mark on his save attempt. But it stays 2-1 to the away side. Akinola up to Okello. He has an assist tonight. Akinola after it, so is Eckenrode, and he'll get it back to touch for a goal kick for Joe Rice. Red Army right behind Richmond, looking for home win number 5 on the season. Right now on the table, Richmond sitting in 9th. They're 3 points behind this Toronto side, as Boateng and Akinola going after it. And Boateng's on a card after he got in a bit of a shoving match against Schaffelberg in the first 45. It is Akinola with the card, though, here. A word from Boateng on the sideline after that play. Watch this again. The initial tackle by Ramos Mingo, and Akinola with the quick grab to end the play. But in the meantime of that build-up, keep in mind Ramos Mingo is on a yellow card of his own, and that was close to Boateng going down. Over the top after Lockerbie, who has an assist this evening, but Konofsky takes it in. Fans of USL unveiled its elite youth platform, USL Academy. This allows clubs at all levels across the USL to develop its local youth and compete at the highest level across the United States, including the USL Academy Cup. For more information, visit uslsoccer.com/academy. Okello battling for the ball, using that big frame of his. Here comes Toronto through ball, but Nelson coming up limping. Not sure if there was contact with Lockerbie. He has been so strong in the second half. You hate to see him have to leave this match. He's going to give it a go there, try to stretch it out. Okello building up some of this counterattack in the second half with his big 6'4" frame. That trainer will be waved on for Toronto. Jaden Nelson, such a promising talent here for Toronto in the second half of the season. Down after going toe-to-toe with Lockerbie. It's Nelson and Faria who are really tasked with the responsibility to take over the role of Schaffelberg once he saw more time with TFC and MLS at the midway point of the season. And he has been spectacular in these first 61 minutes, stretching the Richmond defense and creating opportunities. Had the assist on the second Perusa goal. To recap the subs to this point, all three now have been, two have been used by David Bulow, both at the left back spot. And just one for Toronto. That was at about the mid-30s, the mark, as Akinola came on for Schaffelberg. And now Nelson will have to come off the field with the help of the trainer. And good to see him there walking under his own power. A brief limp, though. Here in minute 62. Toronto side, one more on this road trip. They'll go to David Stanton Field in Chattanooga to take on the Red Wolves. The side still in the playoff hunt. One of two teams, along with Madison, battling for that final playoff spot. Madison, of course, will go up against Lansing. So depending on that result, Chattanooga obviously hoping for a Lansing win that would keep them in the race, along with a draw between Lansing and Madison. But at this point, it'll be a 3 p.m. start in that budding rivalry battle. So Chattanooga, when they run onto the field, will know what they need to do to get a playoff spot, or if they are eliminated at that point with a Lansing defeat at the hands of the Flamingos. Knocked on forward. Here's Lockerbie. Crosses it in. Chance coming. Deflected away a second go, but offsides. The flag up once again on Mawape. It was Boateng at the PK spot, but his chance was blocked. Take another look here to see the Toronto defense come through. Lockerbie, so good at the cross. But it was Ramos Mingo that got the stop. Foul called, pushed off by Kraft on Carlini. It's a free kick for Toronto. West, he's had a good match here tonight at the Toronto left back spot, but he'll give the ball away as Akello led it on to Eckenrode. Two teams have combined for 16 shots, but just 5 on target. This Toronto offense putting up 42 goals this season. They entered the day 3rd in that category. Good at creating chances as well, 10.2 shots per game and 4.7 shots on goal per game. That ranks both as 4th in League One. Nelson losing it to Lockerbie. And here's Rodriguez. Gallardo. Kraft. Build up coming for Richmond. Mawape. Running towards the end line, stays on his feet, crosses it over, but over everyone. Had 4 bodies along with him inside the box. And we have another player down here in minute 65. Unfortunately, that keeps on coming in this match. And it's Nelson again. So his day, you have to assume, might be done as he comes off for the 2nd time here today. Quick coaching lesson as well on the sideline for Richmond. Nelson coming off and Petrasso coming on for Toronto. A regular in the starting 11, but coming off the bench today, 2 goals, 3 assists for his 24 appearances on the season. Akinola. Klinowski getting a touch. Boateng the pressure. Here's Petrasso. Lockerbie out of play. There will be a throw-in on the near side for Toronto. Thought that was going to be Petrasso's first touch. Instead, it's out of play. Fans, you can continue to enjoy the USL on ESPN through the 2022 season. The USL is excited to announce that the championship in League One will remain with the leader in sports for 3 more years. ESPN Plus will continue to be the home of all things USL, and at least 19 games a year will be featured on the ESPN family of networks, including 9 games on ESPN Deportes. Continue to follow, support, and watch your club on ESPN and ESPN Plus. Akinola after the ball in the final third. He'll sling a crossover, but well past the run of Petrasso out of play. It's a throw-in for Richmond. Again, a reminder, 5 more matchups coming up this week in League One. One Friday night, late night in Arizona. It's FC Tucson hosting the regular season champs in North Texas SC. And on Saturday, 4 matches and something I guess you can call decision day here in USL League One, as it will start at 3 p.m. Eastern Time with Lansing and Madison, and finish off 8 p.m. Eastern Time with Clementa and Greenville, where we started back on March 29th in Statesboro, Georgia. Richmond building up here. Knocked down by West. Second go of it by Gallardo, but cleared there by Bunk Anderson. Chin bumps it down, Eckenrode, but a handball called on the left back. Richmond will be taking on Orlando City B, and as we talked about at the half, Oktoberfest and Fan Appreciation Night coming up Saturday, 7 p.m. start Eastern Time here on ESPN+. That should be a fun one in many regards. A player signing event as well in store for the fans. Akello lofting the ball. Petrasso on the run, but so is Rice. He'll take it in. Toronto, meanwhile, will take a trip over to Chattanooga. Another matchup that has seen many goals this season. Their last one coming in Toronto. A 2-2 finish with Ayman Zayed finding the goal in the 83rd. Both these teams, unfortunately, not going to be part of the League One inaugural playoffs, as a foul is called against Chin. Akello goes down. David Bulow telling us this week the goal is to leave a positive taste in the mouth for 2020, trying to build ahead this side. And he's honest. He says he's a young coach, learning along the way. You have to remember, in his first full season after he took over mid last season, Akello's still down. And he had the assist on the first Peruz Italia. Another look here on the tackle by Chin. And an awkward plant on that right foot, and that's what he's dealing with, it looks like. Such a talent for TFC2. Of course, with Canada at the U20 CONCACAF Championship. 3 goals in his 5 appearances. TFC2 regular in the USL Championship last year, 22 appearances. And of course, this week named to the USL 20 under 20. We'll restart with a Toronto free kick. Petrasso. West. Long ball, good delivery, but Rice comes up and takes it in. West did not see a lot of time to start the year, but has come on really in the second half of late. This is his 10th start overall, the loanee from Panama. He's really had some great service here today, setting up through balls that have created chances for Toronto down the field. He's one to keep an eye on as we especially approach next year if he sticks around with Toronto. Quick turn by Boateng. Boateng on the run, the strike blocked by Bunk Anderson. Back the other way comes Petrasso. Pressure by Akwe, leading to a break for Toronto. 3v2, Akinola into the box. Over and sliced out of play. What a stop by Shinosky. Corner kick to TFC2. Watch this build up, and it's because Akwe was aggressive, came so far forward. Akinola on the run. Perusa would have been offsides anyway, but Shinosky slicing that away to save Rice in between the pipes. And a set piece here for TFC2, looking for the insurance tally. Stolen back on the short run of it though. Boateng losing it, back with Toronto, here they come. The white kit forward, final third. Again a stop by Shinosky. Akella the cross, fisted away by Rice. This Richmond defense keeping their hopes alive. That goes out of play. Toronto the throw-in. What service there by Akello. Perusa was there looking for the hat trick. Shinosky. Moape. And a defensive stop like that, holding strong against Toronto, should give some confidence to this offense. There comes Kraft. Out of play, it's a throw-in for the Kickers. Yannick Eckenrode, formerly of Tormenta FC in USL League 2. Played at Radford and George Mason in college. Here's West. As the attack just does not pan out there for Richmond. There are 10 shots overall, just 2 on target. Both of those coming in the first half. Moape. West winning it back, and a good challenge there from the left back. Toronto with the throw-in, and they certainly can burn some time here in the 74th. As Perusa shows up here. Carlini. Akinola, look at this run onto the through ball. Final third for Akinola. Perusa. Flicks in, beautiful service, falls for Petrasso, and luckily Lockaby got a touch to it. Otherwise it would have been on a plate for a goal. Priso. Toronto controlling things here as Campbell works it up ahead down the right wing. Akinola, Okello. And Akwe keeps it in play though. It looks like it did go out of play in the end. There's Lockaby, Moape, Kraft. Chin. Boateng into the box. Boateng the strike, but it's straight off Bunk Anderson, out of play. A corner kick for Richmond. This will be number 4 on the evening. Boateng has had a few good strikes this evening. Still can't find the back of the net. It's been blocked quite a few times. It's Gallardo. 2 assists this season. Headed away by Ramos Mingo. See the pink there in the stands on that corner kick. Breast Cancer Awareness Night. Ball sliced in, but grabbed by Klinowski at the near post. First 400 fans this evening. Got a pink t-shirt to take home. As West will move up the field with the ball. Carlini. Petrasso. Okello and Akwe going 50-50 on that. Akwe won it. And it's back to Rice. Who's up, who's down, where does your club sit? Find out every Monday in the official USL League One Power Rankings. Only on USLLeague1.com. Check those out online as we head into the final week of action here in the regular season of USL League One. Lockerbie brought down by Carlini. Carlini shown yellow. He's lucky not to already be on yellow after he ran into Rice in the first half. Free kick here for Richmond. Taking a look at this foul. Lockerbie feeling the contact and went down knowing he was going to lose the ball. Good awareness from the VCU grad. But a chance here to equalize for Richmond. Moape on the end of it. Scored the first goal in this match. Lofting ball, left side of the box. And past everyone somehow that went untouched. That's a goal kick for Klinowski. This would be the second comeback win of the season for Toronto. '79th minute, 2-1 to TFC 2 here at City Stadium. Clear back the other way. Lockerbie on the run, will get it. Rodriguez, back to Lockerbie. Gallardo. Moape. Up there to Kraft, he's onside. Whips the ball in. Headed down, Priso will get rid of it though on the clearance. Akinola running up. Knocked ahead by Akwe. They'll retrieve the ball though. Quick feet from the center back. It's on back to Rice. We'll see how David Bulow uses his final sub of the match. This is the exact position they were in against Chattanooga on Saturday. About 10 minutes left. Down the left flank, here's Eckenrode. Flicks it on, Boateng into the box. Still Boateng, quick turn, but Ramos Mingo wins it and lets Buck Anderson clear it into the night. Gallardo. Lofts one forward, but it's deflected away by Campbell. Perusa flicks it on. Now Shinoski. Aquay almost losing it. Rodriguez losing it to Perusa. Good tackle there from the forward. He's down though, injured. Down the left flank. Here comes Petrasso. Flicks it on. Carlini. Carlini can't finish. Rice with a great save. You can see why Petrasso leads Toronto in created chances, but Carlini could not find the finish.
Richmond's third and final
as Rice gets the save.
Match number 20, Luke Pavone, departing number 98, Riley Kraft.
And Perusa in a good bit of pain on the end of that one as Carlini and Petrasso led the attack the other way. And it is the end of the day for Riley Kraft. On comes Luke Pavone, his fourth appearance of the season. Former Buffalo State player in NCAA Division III, spent last year in Israel. And it will be a corner kick for Toronto, but meanwhile, Perusa is receiving treatment. Here's Petrasso over the ball. Red Army letting Petrasso hear it as we're set for this corner kick. Ball whipped in. Knocked down by Ramos Mingo, but cleared by Eckenrode. Some fresh legs on. Here comes Pavone. Spurring on Moape. Through ball. Pavone into the box. Pavone deflected up and stays in play on Klinowski. No, it will be a corner. What a through ball coming from Moape. And Pavone nearly getting a chance off. But it was stopped before it could find the frame. No look here. This no look through ball. Class from Moape. And Pavone looked like maybe was trying to find Boateng at the other post, but unlucky deflection. Nonetheless, gives way to another chance for the Kickers. Moape will take it. Low drive, headed away relatively easily by Bunk Anderson. Lockerbie. Out wide, here's Moape, minute 85, swings it over. Headed up and away. Another cross in. This one knocked down and a lucky hop right into the arms of Klinowski. Stolen by Petrasso, but a foul was committed. Rodriguez, quick turn. Richmond on the attack, late on here, looking for this equalizer. Moape flicks it in, chin on the run, end line, cuts it back over, but cleared away. This back line for Toronto has been strong tonight with the blocks and stops. Out of play near side, it's a throw-in for Lockerbie. And Richmond is a substitution on the far side. This may be for Perusa. No, it is not. As you can see, he is back on.
The match, number 97, Ralph Prisco, Entering the game, number 43.
Prizo coming off, and it's the captain Ovalle coming on. He was the captain for a majority of the year, then dealt with some injury troubles. Came back in the last few matches coming off the bench. But if there's a leader in the midfield you want on when you have a lead late, it's Ovalle. One of the unsung heroes, unsung holding midfielders really here in League One. He'll be making an appearance number 21 is the Chilean. Lockerbie the throw in, and Richmond looking to strike here late on. Foul called, and it's a free kick for the Kickers. What an opportunity from the left flank here in the 87th. We'll see how they take it. Gallardo took a shot from nearly the same spot earlier here in the second half. Slung out of play. Mwape and Gallardo over the ball. Two-man wall for TFC2. Gallardo slings it in, but over everyone and out of play. The set piece is not boding well for Richmond late on. Another one skies out as Klinowski has a goal kick. Red Army keeping the beat here at City Stadium. They find their side down by 1 goal late on. Chin, Rodriguez, and stolen back by Campbell. So a win here tonight actually for Toronto would move them into 6th place. One ahead of Tormenta. Of course, after tonight, every team will have played 27 matches. Really the best opportunity to evaluate where teams are at as we enter the final few match days. Don't count out a Toronto insurance tally late on as well. 13 goals in the final 15 minutes of matches this season. Here's Rodriguez. Mwape. Mwape strikes it. Headed on, Boateng's there, but so is Ramos Mingo. They'll sky this out for a throw-in for the Kickers. Eckenrode cross in, headed away, down it comes, but Lockerbie can't get there. Transition attack for Toronto. It's Petrasso west to his left, and no pressure. They can slow it down, looking for the 3 points. A loss today locks in a 9th place finish for Richmond this season. It would be 4 back of FC Tucson, who are in 8th. Akinola on the turn. Carlini, a good look. He'll get it in the box. Carlini, pass Rice, and off the post. Unlucky for the native of North York. His second opportunity, point blank in the box, but still can't find the finish. Ovalle takes it in. That almost was the insurance tally Toronto needed. Carlini can't catch a break here in the second half, I should say, as Okello moves it ahead through the legs of Petrasso. Let's stay in play. If it did, it finally rolled out. It's a goal kick. 5 minutes of stoppage time presented by Craigers here at City Stadium. Here's It's Rodriguez. Ball off to down the field. On the run is Boateng, loses it briefly. Here's Toronto though. Some cramping here late on at City Stadium. This will go back to Toronto as Richmond looking for the late equalizer. Toronto a win tonight and a win against Chattanooga on Saturday, and they would be locking in a sixth place finish overall here in League One. Here's Petrasso. Petrasso finding some room. He'll strike it, but deflected away. It was Shinosky there for the brief touch, and a corner kick coming for Toronto. Petrasso will take it. TFC2 looking to lock up win number 9 on the season and their third away tally. Out of play, it's a goal kick for Rice. Eckenrode. Knocked down by Akello. He's had a good match here this evening. Foul called, headed the other way. Ramos Mingo. Keep an eye here if there's a card. Yellow from the pocket leads to red for Ramos Mingo. And of course, he'll miss the match on Saturday against Chattanooga with that one.
Yellow card for Toronto.
So Toronto now down to 10 with 2 minutes remaining.
Second yellow.
And we have the replay here for you. Watch the aerial duel here. Coming into the back, it looked like Luke Pavone. Second yellow of the day, of course, to Ramos Mingo. Leads to his second red card of the season. Not much time left to be affected by that, but maybe enough for the Kickers to at least equalize. Free kick, nearly same spot, third time this half. Both have gone out of play on the service, the first two out. This time it's going to be Eckenrode, though. The first two had Gallardo on the end of them. Eckenrode, the Kickers, the last hope, here to equalize. Natalie Simon, some words to the pack. And we're ready to get back underway. Eckenrode scoops it in there. Knocked on. Get away out of the box. Cleared downfield. Out of play. And a throw in, Mawape to Rice. Knocked down Shinosky. Sends it over, striking it out of play. Was there a deflection? No, there was not. Campbell down as the final few seconds tick off. It's a goal kick for Toronto. Klinowski getting set, looking to send Toronto home with 3 points. David Bulow handing off the ball to Okello. Campbell will take it. Akinola steals it back from Rodriguez. Ovalle. West looks to take it, but he'll take the 3 points as well. Toronto on the road. 2-1 the comeback victory, their second of the season. And Richmond will finish locked in at 9th place this season in USL League One. It began with Mawape, but it finished with Perusa getting a brace here today. And unfortunately, sending the Red Army unhappy back home. There is Perusa finding number 13 and 14 of the season as he keeps some heat on Renato Demas of North Texas in the Golden Boot race, just 2 behind the North Texas striker entering the final few match days. Toronto 2, Richmond 1. Unfortunately for the Kickers, not able to find their 5th home victory of the year, but Toronto finds their 3rd on the road here in 2019. When we get back, we'll recap with highlights and stats from City Stadium. Toronto FC 2, finding 2 in the back of the net, Richmond 1.
New faces.
New players.
New ownership.
New challenges.
New league.
New opponents.
New rivals.
Joyful.
Authentic.
United.
Still your team.
Still obvious on.
Still the Richmond Kickers.
It's not just Zach's daydream. For the most epic weather coverage in Central Virginia, trust the CBS 6 Weather Authority.
New faces.
New players.
New ownership.
New challenges.
New league.
New opponents.
New rivals.
Joyful.
Authentic.
United.
Still your team.
Still obvious on.
Still the Richmond Kickers.
Unfortunately for the Kickers, not able to find the result they wanted this evening. It's Toronto on the road getting 3 points at City Stadium for the first win over the Kickers here in 2019. Let's take a look at our highlights from this evening, as it was Perusa getting 2 to make the comeback victory true. But it was a first 50 minutes that was very strong from the Richmond Kickers and their ability to stretch the field with Mawape. Lockerbie with the pass ahead. He gets the assist on the opening goal. And watch Mawape work for his 2nd of the season. Cuts back a few times, then slicing one on a sharp angle off of Klinowski. Again, watch it on that 2nd comeback, fooling Bunk Anderson and West. And it was a brief lead at that for the Richmond Kickers. Toronto not letting up a beat beyond that goal by Richmond. They would come right back firing. Schaffelberg here putting a cross in. Perusa this one just wide, but it would be something that foreshadowed events to come, as Okello would find the ball from Campbell, and a wide open through ball here left for Perusa, and he slots that one home just beyond the reach of Joe Rice, who just got his hand on it, could not get enough though to keep it out for Perusa. And the night would not be done, as we would find out, for the TFC2 striker. Akwe, a great run into the box here to open up the second half. Cut it back over, but Klinowski there, along with the Toronto defense, they were packing the box all night, and Boateng there, unable to find a good position to get a shot off, and he slung a bicycle kick out of play. Nelson, a fantastic match, had to leave due to some injury troubles in the second half, but gets this off to Perusa. He gets the assist, and Perusa the finish. He'll get the brace on the night, and watch this ball bend on by Rice. He gets a touch again, but could not stop Perusa, who would have a word with the Red Army after that finish. Carlini probably should have had a goal towards the end of this match. Unfortunate for him, Rice gets the save here on this first one. A point-blank chance given to him from Petrasso and then knocked out of play. Here's Akinola also finding Carlini, who's wide open in the box. Gets around Rice, but then the post, the framework at City Stadium denies him, and he still can't find his first in the back of the net for TFC2. Taking a look right off the post. Eckenrode was there. Good hustle. But Perusa's braced enough for Toronto to get the 3 points on the road. They'll move up to 6th place with the result here today. But you see so many shots on the board, 26 to be exact between the two sides, and just 6 on target. You can see how many cards as well. It was a card-heavy match here with so many fouls conceded but warranted. It was physical battle at this point. Now let's look at the standings, and here's the fun part. For the first time since match day 1, everyone has the same number of matches played at 27, so you can really evaluate where everyone is on the table. From 6 on down, they are eliminated, unfortunately, but Madison and Chattanooga go into Saturday looking to clinch one of those playoff spots. It will depend a lot on what Madison does against Lansing in the 3 p.m. Eastern time slot. And then Chattanooga will hope, entering their match, they still have a chance at the playoffs with a Lansing victory or a draw in that match earlier in the day. Chattanooga will take on the Toronto team that we saw here tonight. Well, that does it here from City Stadium. Richmond falling just short after an electric start with the Red Army here at City Stadium. It was Perusa laid on that got the tallies they needed. A brace today, getting him to 14 on the season. Big thank you to our entire crew for tuning in tonight. I'm Chris Makovic, and join us Friday and Saturday to finish off this League One regular season. We'll see who makes that final playoff spot, and we'll see you next time here on ESPN+.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League League One cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League League One.